Well, only on NBC5 News tonight, we're meeting a Medford community leader who wanted to speak out after being inspired by a recent story we shared with you. It's part of a suicide prevention initiative we've launched called Tomorrow Needs You. NBC5's Craig Smolin is in studio with the story. Craig.
Tonight, a longtime Medford resident is going to share with you a deeply personal story that she debated sharing publicly. We do want to warn you, this is a difficult conversation, but one that needs to be heard. Nancy Brewold Johnson has lived in the Rogue Valley for decades. Now a retired financial advisor, she's a pillar of the community, serving on the Asante Foundation board while volunteering for the Holly Theater and other community service organizations. But many years ago, she was a pregnant teenager at Medford High School, married at just 16. It wasn't long after that the abuse started.
When I was 8 months pregnant with my daughter, that was the first beating. And I don't even remember what brought it on or if I ever knew.
Some 6 decades later, Nancy describes her daughter Nikki as being born into domestic violence.
It was bad for me, it was bad for my daughter, but one of the things about an abuser, and many people will tell you this, they are so contrite. I'll never do that again. I'm so sorry. Let's try to make it work. And they talk you into it, so.
It took 4 years for Nancy to leave her first husband. Her parents, and especially her husband's parents, helped make that happen.
It became so bad that I knew I feared for my life and hers. So that's when I made the change.
The world and the Rogue Valley has come a long way since the 60s. Crisis hotlines and nonprofits that help domestic violence victims weren't around back then. And while there were some counselors, they didn't have the specific set of skills many have today.
Counseling was not really a thing in those days. That's been many, many years ago.
And neither was talking about domestic violence publicly. Even today, Nancy doesn't think many people that know her well know about what she went through in her first marriage. And sharing her story publicly isn't easy. She was inspired by someone she sits on the Asante Foundation board with.
When I heard Steve Rowe's story and the tagline, "Tomorrow Needs You," that is reaching people.
This spring, the Rowe Motors GM shared with us how he's overcome mental health issues after being bullied both physically and emotionally as a child.
I said, if he could do it, I could do it. If we can save a life by bringing it to the surface.
Nancy went on to launch the Domestic Violence Foundation. She and Nikki also raised funds for the Dunn House, a local shelter available for people to escape an unsafe situation.
She understood, probably better than most, what domestic violence is and what it can do to you.
But despite seeing abuse as a child and knowing some of the warning signs, Nancy says Nikki soon fell in love with a man who would go on to abuse her. We will continue Nancy's story tomorrow with why she feels it is so important to have these difficult conversations. If you know someone or you are going through an abusive situation yourself, you can call or text Medford-based Community Works at 541-779-4357. You can also call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233. Both numbers are available 24/7 in multiple languages. In studio, Craig Smolin, NBC5 News.